So everybody check the got it button.
Very good. We'll proceed.
Okay, great. Okay, I want to welcome you all as well. Happy to see you here. We've got all the faces, and hopefully we'll be able to start seeing people in person coming up relatively soon. We'll have our award ceremony, which David will be talking about later, is going to be in person, which is great. And hopefully we'll be able to start having meetings, maybe the next one or the one after, in person. It'll be great to get together with everybody. Enjoy Nan's brownie. She'll have to bring a double order. And the corned beef or turkey sandwiches that we always have. So hopefully we'll be getting back there. We are fortunate to have another two members join us, and they are multi-generational, which we're thrilled with. Leland has introduced them to us. I'll talk to them about them in a minute, but David and Michael Maltzman, father and son, we're thrilled to see multi-generations, and I'll comment on that. David and Michael, if you want to just say something about yourselves and what brought you here.
Hi, I'm Michael Maltzman. So nice to be here. Thank you all for allowing me to join you guys. I just realized that I need to get involved with more in the community. So that's why I'm here. I spoke with Leland and I felt somewhat of a passion about this. So very interested in the whole concept and would love to get involved. I'm part of a few committees on Jewish Federation. I used to be part of Dream Street. I used to hold car washes for causes going on in the world when I was younger. And I just want to do more to get involved right now. So that's why I'm here.
Came to the right spot. Welcome.
We're happy to have you. David?
Good job, Michael. I'm doing this with Michael so I can get more involved with my children and get them more involved in philanthropy. So that's my main goal, and I wanted to do something that would interest them. So I'm here and I'm looking forward to working with you guys.
Great. I think you both find a lot to interest you in this group. We're a very active group. You'll find we're a very friendly group. We kind of enjoy getting together for the meetings and getting together on the phone. So it's a good congenial group. I also want to comment that the multi-generational members, that's something that is very active in our committee and in JVS overall. Just to mention a few, and some of these names will be familiar to you, but Joyce and Rick Powell are two generations which have been on our committee and active in the agency for a long time. Jeff and Nancy Paul and their son Matt Paul, Judy Felsenthal, and somebody you may know, Leland Felsenthal, have been active in this committee. Sally Harris, her son Seth Silverman, David Nikayan, his daughter Netta, Brenda and Ashley Franklin, Curly Ray Levy and her stepson Alan Levy, our esteemed executive director, even myself and my parents, Ruth and Irving Karp, probably others that I'm forgetting. There also are people who are on this committee who have children or parents involved in other aspects of the agency. So that's nice to see. And we even have a number of married couples like the Gagermans and my wife and myself, and probably others I'm missing. So we are truly multi-generational, family-oriented committee. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll find a lot to do together. Maybe you can even do interviewing of scholarship recipients or potential scholarship recipients together, and you'll enjoy it. And it'll be a good conversation between the two of you. So we're happy to have you here, happy to have you and all of the other new members that we have. It's good to see this committee getting new blood and revitalizing itself with the next generation. So we're happy and thrilled to have you here. A lot of what we do is for the benefit of our scholarship recipients, and we're actually fortunate enough to have one of our recipients here, Sheer, speaking to us. Joyce will introduce her, but we're happy, Sheer, to have you here and looking forward to what you have to say. And you're muted, so once Joyce introduces you, you want to go back off mute.
John, 1 second. Yes. Randy, did you want to introduce?
Yes, so we have a guest today. We have a guest here today, Julian Brenman, who comes to us from Kennedy Wilson. Kennedy Wilson's been a good partner of ours. And Julian, do you want to say a few brief words about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the intro and for letting me join today's call. So as Randy mentioned, my name is Julian Brenman, originally from the Bay Area, attended USC, graduated class of 2014 and just started off at Kennedy Wilson over in Beverly Hills. So I'm looking to obviously get more involved, more involved in the local community. I've learned more about JVS over the last week, and it really aligns with a lot of my personal goals and just philanthropic endeavors as I kind of venture into this next phase of my life. So happy to connect with you all and learn more about the organization, and hopefully see you guys in person soon. Thank you for letting me join today.
Happy to
Thanks.
have you here, Julian. Thank you, and thank you for your support.
Of course.
And I'll let Joyce introduce Sheer, who's been smart enough to get away from the ice storms in St. Louis and the cold and snow there. I know what that's like, and come out and be here for spring break. So Joyce, take it away.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. Hello, everybody. Welcome, and welcome to our two new committee members, Michael and David Maltzman. And Julian, glad to have you here as our guest today. Thank you for joining us. And Sheer Kleinman is our speaker today. Sheer is a current JVS Scholarship recipient and a multi-year scholarship recipient. She earned her bachelor's degree at UC Santa Barbara and currently, as John mentioned, Washington University in St. Louis, and she's pursuing her master's degree. Sheer has been funded by Rick Powell and the Powell family. So Rick, here's a shining example of the good work that you and your family do. So on that note, let's give a warm welcome to Sheer Kleinman. Go Sheer.
Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure for me to speak with you all today. First, I'd like to personally thank Mr. Powell and his family for supporting me with their scholarships, and to just thank all of you for all the important work that you do. So, as mentioned, my name is Sheer Kleinman, and I was born and raised in Los Angeles to working class Israeli immigrant parents who often struggled economically. As a first-generation American and first-generation college student, one of the defining features of my life has been my family's financial hardships. My working class parents strive to provide comfort and security for me and my siblings, but never quite reached economic solace or stability. My father is handicapped and needs double knee replacement surgery, which we are currently unable to afford, and that makes it extremely difficult for him to get around and to find work, and the pandemic has exacerbated this issue even further. My family's rent has increased multiple times, but my parents have never been able to afford to move to another place. And additionally, my family accrued medical bills during my mother's struggle with cancer throughout 2019, which also kept her from working for several months. And as a result, my parents were unable to contribute anything financially to my graduate school education, and the responsibility has fallen solely on me to pay for my education through loans and any scholarships awarded to me. And I've had to work many part-time jobs to try and make ends meet as well. And the scholarships I've received from JVS have definitely been instrumental in making my academic journey possible. Despite the hardships, my family has always instilled in me a commitment to being involved in Jewish community advocacy. I've served on Chabad and Hillel boards during my undergraduate degree, worked at Camp Ramah for multiple summers, worked with Jewish youth at my local Santa Barbara temple, and was elected president of Students Supporting Israel. I earned my bachelor's degree, as was mentioned, from the University of California, Santa Barbara, where I majored in sociology and I double minored in applied psychology and education. I made the Dean's Honor List and graduated with high honors. And before I graduated, I received the Santa Barbara Hillel Myerson Balfour Award for exceptional leadership skills, as well as commitment to Jewish and community advocacy. I'm the granddaughter of 4 Holocaust survivors, and as such, my decision to pursue a career in social work is rooted in my experience battling the intergenerational trauma of the Holocaust. My mission is to destigmatize mental health treatment and increase access to resources as a social worker. In the fall of 2021, I started my first year pursuing a master's in social work at Washington University in St. Louis in order to become a licensed clinical social worker concentrating in mental health. This is the graduate program of my dreams, and I thank you all for helping make it possible. At WashU, I'm expanding my knowledge and skills of mental health treatment for youth in poverty, evidence-based therapy, and the delivery of mental health services. I'm firmly committed to improving the quality of life, well-being, and mental health of future generations. My long-term goal is to be a licensed clinical social worker and to address mental health at all levels, from cognitive behavioral therapy to the healthcare system to nonprofit programming. I'm gaining the social work skills that will aid in creating equality, equity, and positive systemic changes. My life's purpose is to help people who have suffered similar disadvantages in life as my family has. I want to express my sincerest gratitude and thanks for the generous scholarships you have given me. Your generosity makes it possible for me to devote more time and attention to my studies. You have been crucial in making my accomplishments possible, and I can't thank you all enough for helping students like me. I'm very appreciative and grateful, and it's an honor to share my experiences with you today and to give you a glimpse into the lives of those you are helping, like myself. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Great job, Sarah. Does anyone have any questions this year that they'd like to ask or follow up?
Joyce, give Sheer my email because I'd like to be in touch with her and see if we can help her on some of these things she mentioned today.
Absolutely, Rick, will do.
Cher, have you been able to get involved in the Jewish community in St. Louis?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked that. So in St. Louis, there's a sector of our local Chabad called JGrads, which is a special program devoted to Jewish graduate students and young professionals through not the campus Chabad, but the local community Chabad. And they've been able to put on wonderful programming, and I'm involved. And funnily enough, the rabbi and rebbitzin there are actually close friends of the rabbi and rebbitzin that I had at Santa Barbara. So I was able to be put in touch with them right away. And basically at the start of me moving there, I think within the first week, I was already at an event, and they've been able to put on some wonderful things, and they're both amazing. So that's been really wonderful. And it's allowed me to meet some people in my program as well who are also Jewish, and we get involved together, as well as meet people who are just young professionals in the area or attend some other graduate programs in the area, because there are quite a few schools in St. Louis outside of WashU.
Great. Then I don't have to introduce you to any of my Jewish partners in St. Louis. That's good.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Sheer. If there are no other questions or comments or follow-up, thank you, Sheer. We appreciate your being here with us today and giving your time and sharing your story. Very moving, very emotional, and a great job that you did. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
I'll follow up with you per Rick's instructions, which is email address. Okay.
Thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great meeting, but I will be signing off. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for contributing.
Don, back to you.
Okay, next we're going to go talk about development. We've got several programs going on, several fundraising campaigns we want to talk about. Nan and Rick will talk about those. As many of you know, this is Scholarship's 50th year. It's also the agency's, we're continuing the 90th year program fundraising for that. Rick will talk a little bit about that. And also our, the great Pat Sills, as we all know, is retiring out. And we're working on establishing a scholarship fund for her, which Rick and Nan will talk about a little bit. So I'd like to turn it over to them and let them discuss with you kind of what their thoughts are and what our programs are. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I'm just going to speak a little bit and then I'm going to turn it over to our great baker, Nan. Your cookies will be delivered at the door momentarily. First of all, for those new members, certainly David that have joined us today, we are now in our 15th month of our 90th anniversary for JVS SoCal. Our actual anniversary was last year, but with COVID, we are running a 2-year campaign. Most of you know, but a few on this call do not know about it. And as John said, it's also our 50th anniversary. And also later this year will be the 10th anniversary for the Women's Leadership Network. So we're celebrating 3 major milestones. Our goal, as Randy Lappin knows, is to raise $5 million new over and above what we raised at the end of the calendar year of 2020. I'm happy to say that we are now getting close to $3 million raised of that 5 million. Now that's new dollars. So if you gave $1 to the agency last year and you gave $2 this year, that would be $1 extra to the 2-year campaign. So we got $2 million still to raise. And as John said, this is our 50th anniversary for scholarship. I was blessed to know John's dad very well. People like Irv made the scholarship program truly what it is. And all I can say is we need everybody's support. You'll hear Nan's discussion of what we are doing for the 50th, but we're all ears. We're here to help each and every one of you. And I hope that everybody will think about giving more than they gave the previous year. I will tell you that as was just confirmed today, I sent a check from my mom's foundation for $25,000 that came in for Pat's endowment. We really, really want to hit these goals. So without further ado, absolutely for those that are new, don't miss the first meeting in person because Nan will have plenty of goodies. Nan Goodman, it's all yours.
Nan may be on mute.
I'm assuming, of course, you all have lost weight during COVID, so I can bake up a storm, right?
Sure.
So about honoring Pat, who's been unbelievable. And before I get onto that, I just want to thank Julia and Joyce for helping us pull together a parallel program to honor Pat in making a scholarship. So there are two sets of letters. One is going out to to all of us, and the other letter is going to the alumni. So Rick, I don't know, did you say these are new dollars that we're looking for? So you all have been incredibly generous through the years, sponsoring students and supporting the scholarship program. What we're looking for are new dollars to put towards this campaign. And one of the ways that we're trying to excite people about the importance of their donation is by honoring Pat with a scholarship. So that you'll get a letter, and some of our past chairs are signatories on that letter, and you'll get that letter. The parallel program is to attract funds and develop a sense of giving from our scholarship recipients. So I don't have to tell you who've interviewed. How many times have you heard one of the applicants say, "And I want to give back"? Whoa, doctor, this is their opportunity. So we're trying to introduce them to this concept of giving. We all know they've all bonded with Pat, and then to add a little more incentive, Sally and I are, Sally Harris, Sally, raise your hand, are sponsoring a matched gift up to $25,000. So as Rick was saying, if anybody, whatever they give will be matched towards a scholarship from the alumni for Pat Sills. So Rick, what have I left out?
Just to clarify what Nan just said, so you're not confused. The alumni, like the young lady that we just heard from now, they're matching 25,000 for whatever is raised, up to 25,000 from the students, from the older generation, whatever age that we've given a scholarship. We've given hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars over the years. But secondly, as I said earlier, if you gave $1 last year to scholarship and this year you give $2, that extra dollar will count toward the 50th anniversary. So we want to make sure you give what you gave last year, and hopefully you give more than you gave last year. That's the goal. That's how we're going to get to this $250,000 endowed scholarship in Pat's name. And as I said, we're on our way there now. So Nan put a lot of time into these letters, which you will be getting shortly. And if you have any thoughts or questions, or people that are not part of this committee, people that have been donors, people that might have been donors but aren't donors currently, let us know so that we can positively reach out to each and every one of them and help.
Can I say one other thing? If anybody who's been interviewing Lo these many years has developed a relationship with any of your recipients, and you want to have participate in help and bridging the concept of giving back to JVS and honoring Pat, please let us know, because we don't want to bombard people and turn them off. So if you have a personal relationship, please, please, please let us know, and we'll find a way for you to put a note on the letter or whatever needs to be done to support that.
Just because this didn't go without being mentioned, Sahar, who is on this call, is also one of our past scholarship recipients. And she and I had talked, and she wanted to come on our committee to do the payback for what we had done for her. And she's been very successful in our career. So she's one of the examples of one of our stellar alumni who has succeeded and succeeded even more in wanting to give back and be part of what helped her and what is now helping other students. So Sahar, thank you. And I think we need to recognize that.
Yes, and just quickly, one sec, absolutely. Sahar and actually Dr. Kevin Hayabi, who's on our committee as well, is a former recipient, and they are both signatories on the letter that we're sending out to the alumni. So I want to thank them.
Can I ask a question, please? John, could you clarify something for me? If we gave $100 last year regularly and we give 110 this year, the $10 goes toward the scholarship for Pat or just toward the 50th anniversary?
It's all going to be counted toward the 50th. So whether it goes into endowment, if it's spelled out to endowment, it'll still be counted toward the 50th.
All right, so if we want to honor Pat by giving $25 based on the letter that'll come out, that will go toward Pat's scholarship. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
In a sense, Susie, in a sense, you're double dipping on that because you're giving money that's going to be used for scholarship, and it's also going to be credited towards the 50th campaign. Correct, Rick?
Yeah, but it's new dollars. She didn't give to that last year. So yes, it'll be credited to the campaign.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just be clear when you communicate with Joyce or Julia that your directions of where you want those funds allocated to, Pat's fund or to the 50th, both will count. I just want to thank Nan and Sally and Rick for your leadership and generosity. This is wonderful. This will allow us to honor Pat every year with a student scholarship in her name. And she is aware of this. She is the last one that wanted this to happen only because she loves to just stay in the background. But Rick and Nan did a great job in convincing her that this is something that we all want to do for her, and she deserves it. So again, thank you for your leadership and generosity and help.
And Kevin, just a quick apology to Kevin that you're on the second screen, so I didn't see your picture and your name on here. So that's why I only mentioned Sahar, but we are thrilled that you as a past recipient and scholarship recipient have also joined us on this committee and are supporting us. So thank you, and I apologize for not looking at both screens. Okay, the next item of business is basically our fundraising and our status in terms of where we stand in terms of our fundraising and our donations for this year in development. So I thought I would just bring this up. We've sent you all out the fundraising information. We have a goal of raising $750,000 this year. We are $685,000 towards that, so we're about $65,000 short. We are hopeful that with new donors or with additional contributions, we will clearly get there, because that is a great goal to try to fund that $750,000 of scholarships. We'll know the number of students that is once we look at the qualified recipients and how much we're giving to each. But we continue to grow and continue to support people very actively. As you can see, the temporary restricted, which is funds that are available to be used for scholarships in terms of earnings on that, we have a certain amount we have to keep, but we've got 2.2 million, almost 2.3 million in the temporary restricted. The permanently restricted, which is endowments, has just under $3 million. Our contributions and pledges this year towards the endowment has been $233,000, so we're doing very well there. We are closing in on our goal. We want to make sure we achieve it, but we are closing in on the goal. And so we thank you all for your support and continuing to do that. The other thing is, I'm sure everybody knows, is we've got the give or get commitment for all scholarship committee members, that your obligation is to either give or obtain $1,000 as contributions to the scholarship program. I'm sure you all know that. I'm sure you are all doing that, either yourselves or getting others to contribute. Obviously, we accept much more than $1,000. We're happy to take more, but we do want to remind everybody of their commitment as a member of the scholarship committee to do that. So I just want to touch base on that. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, David, I'll turn it over to you for talking about upcoming events.
Perfect, thank you. Well, the good news is we are planning to hold the scholarship award ceremony in person this year. I think that's very exciting to be able to hopefully have the opportunity to see everybody again. That is on Thursday, July 28th at Sinai Temple. Currently, we are working on the option to host it as an indoor-outdoor event, with the award ceremony being indoors with a stage and the reception following outdoors. We're working through most of the logistics on this now, but we wanted to take the opportunity to ask everyone here if they felt comfortable with that setup, because it's been a while since we've all gotten together. And I know some are more sensitive to the current, getting together and meeting in person, and others may not be. So I'd like to see, really, I don't know who wants to comment, but feel free to chime in if you're either comfortable or uncomfortable having the meeting, or having the award ceremony indoor and outdoor.
David, when is the event again?
It's July 28th at Sinai Temple.
Thank you.
No problem. Any concerns or comments?
I have a question. Sorry to go back to the last item. To make the donation for the scholarship program specifically, is it a different web page or different place to do that to make sure that the donation goes to the correct place?
Yeah, Alex, we do have our own page on the JVS website with a link to donate. So I'm going to send everyone a follow-up email with some information and attachments after this meeting. So I'll include that link in the email.
Thank you, Julia.
Sure.
And for anybody who makes a donation out of their donor advised fund at the Federation, at the foundation or otherwise, you can designate in that it goes to scholarship, and they will honor that designation. So it's easy to do it that way.
Sorry to interrupt. Okay. Thank you.
Comment on the scholarship awards ceremony. Obviously, it'll depend upon the situation COVID if there's a new variant, but I'm in support of the plan to do the inside outside. So I will attend.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there as well. So
Yeah, I'll be there too.
I'll be there too. Take advantage of things while we can.
And how?
And for those of you who have not attended that event, it really is inspirational. We have a few speakers, we may have performers, we don't know exactly the agenda now, but it's a chance to talk afterwards at the social hour, to talk to the scholarship recipients. And it's really, really interesting whether you're talking to your own, getting a picture with your own, or you're talking to the other scholarship recipients. It's amazing how much of a difference we make in their lives. We've kind of heard that already from Sheer. And so I strongly encourage you to please attend. I think you will find it a very inspirational event, and you'll really see what your work is going towards.
yeah, and you get to see them in a social setting as opposed to the interview process. It's much more personal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if anyone has any other commentary or don't feel comfortable, want to add anything, feel free to send us emails and we'll kind of see how we can address that. But with that said, mark it in the calendar, Thursday, July 28th at Sinai Temple, and I'll let Julia take it from here.
I'm going to jump in just a couple other events that we may want to talk about or bring up. Somebody asked me earlier before we started the meeting about doing the walk. The marathon is this weekend. We used to do this pre-COVID. We did this on the marathon Saturday, did the walk up at Dodger Stadium. We obviously didn't do it this year. Last year, actually last couple of years, we've done a very successful outdoor walk just with ourselves in Santa Monica. First year, it was just scholarship. Second year, it was the entire agency. We've raised significant funds for the agency or for scholarship. So I don't know if we're planning, and actually I'm going to have something else for Randy to talk about. So I don't know if we're planning to do so. And Randy, if you have a sense of that,
Sure.
and have some thoughts that you can add to us. But if we're doing it, would look for your support. You can get sponsors for sponsoring you for doing the walking. We've had recipients, scholarship recipients there in the past, so it's a good chance to talk to them at a social gathering. And then we try to have a breakfast lunch right afterwards. It's usually in the morning, maybe 9, 10 o'clock, starting in Santa Monica, walking from back on the beach to the pier and then back to back on the beach. And it's a great social event. It's an easy walk, your pace, whatever pace you're comfortable with. And it is a fun event just to get to socialize. It is safe because it's outside. So I'm hoping we're going to do it again. The other thing is I want Randy to talk about the walk. And then also we have one of our premier events coming up, the Strictly Business, which is honoring the Paul family, who have been great participants in the scholarship committee. Matt Paul was co-chair, former co-chair of the scholarship committee, active on the board, and Nancy and Jeff are active on the scholarship committee and JVS in general. So we want to have a great turnout for that. And Randy, I hope I haven't stolen all your thunder, but take it away.
That's okay, John. You do a great job. So thank you for teeing it up. To answer your first question, yes, we are doing the walk again. It will be on a Saturday, September 17th. Saturday, September 17th at Santa Monica, at the same place as last year at the pier. And we hope to have double the turnout we had last year, and it was very successful. So it's a great opportunity to get together, enjoy. Someone is, could someone mute their phone? That'd be great.
I think, Sunny, I think it's your.
Okay. Anyway, you'll be hearing more about that, but again, that's going to be on September 17th. That's a Saturday at Santa Monica Beach. And then, yeah, Strictly Business. This will be our 23rd annual Strictly Business Awards dinner. This is the second year we're doing it as a dinner. It will be at Skirball. It will be at the Taper Courtyard, so under the stars outside. We have about 350 to 400 people capacity. And we are honoring the Paul family, as John mentioned, Jeff, Nancy, Matt, Greg, and their families. We are featuring a veteran that the family helped to support, but also Evan Quinn, who you may all remember, a scholarship recipient, an entrepreneur. He will be featured as a client and tied to the Paul family. So it's going to be a very emotional, inspiring evening. We're also recognizing the Bank of California as our corporate partner. There will be a virtual tribute journal that if you'd care to support and send a message to the Pauls, we'd love to have you in person there or both. So you'll be hearing more about the sponsorship levels and the different ways you can contribute. And to tie in what both Nan and Rick have been saying, any funding above and beyond what you gave last year towards the walk, Strictly Business, or the scholarship fund will be counted as part of the 50th anniversary $5 million goal. So we thank you for your consideration, and more information will follow. Thank you.
Randy, I assume Fritz Coleman will be the MC again?
You assume correctly, sir. Yes.
And Fritz does a great job with it, has been a loyal and dedicated supporter of the agency and has chaired this, except for one exception when he had to, I think he had to attend, there was an emergency that they called all hands on deck at the station. But he's been our speaker and our MC for many, many years and is a great supporter of ours. So he makes the evening even more enjoyable.
And he's a Navy veteran, as is Jeff Paul. So there's another tie together.
Okay, Julia, some administrative items.
Yes. So our 2022-2023 scholarship applications have been live since the end of December. And so far, we've received 139 renewal student applications. Those are due this Sunday. So we expect to maybe get 10 or so more. So it's actually more than we received last year. So that's great. So far, it's 81 graduate students and 58 undergraduate students. And then the applications for new students are due at the end of the month on March 31st. And so far, we have 143 students that have started applications. So, you know, I imagine by the time the deadline rolls around, we'll probably have at least 130, 140 applications from new students. So that leads to our interviews in May. We spend basically the entire month of May doing interviews of our new students. And I've spoken to a lot of you. Many of you have sent me already your availability to sit on interview panels. So everyone who has sent me availability, you should have already heard back from me with your dates, but we do still have quite a few spots open for anybody who is interested on sitting on a panel. We usually have between 2 and 4 committee members on the panel. So I attached the availability to the meeting invitation that was sent out, but I will also include that in the email I send out following this, this meeting. And then in advance of that, we will be doing a virtual interview training. It'll be about a half an hour, and we just kind of go over what to expect during the interviews, the types of questions to ask, how we prepare for them, the materials that you will receive from Joyce and myself in advance of the interviews to prepare. That will be on Thursday, April 21st at noon. So anyone who's participating in the interviews that has not done so before, I'll be sending you an invitation. And then anyone that, even if you've participated and you just like a refresher and would like to join, let me know and I'll send you the invitation for that as well. And I think that's it for the interviews. Looking forward to it though. Still virtual, but hopefully next year we'll be back in person.
The number of applicants that you have, how does it compare to past years?
So so renewal students, we have, like I said, 139 already. I think we'll maybe get about 10 more before Sunday. So that'll be more than this past year that we've had. And then the new student applications, we're at 143 now with about a week and a half, 2 weeks left to submit. Sorry, those are 143 students that have started applications. They haven't all submitted yet, but we keep sending out reminders. So I anticipate most of them will complete their applications and submit them. So if we end up with about 100, I think this current school year, we have about 98 new students. So if we have about 150 new applicants, I anticipate we will definitely have more new students this year. So that's why we have to keep bringing in that money, because we're going to have to support more students this year.
Julia, there's some attrition from students graduating and therefore no longer needing scholarships.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we also have quite a few students coming back who've been recipients as undergrads, maybe took a couple years off, and are now reapplying as graduate students.
So what are the net amount of new students you're anticipating this year?
Well, it really depends on how many of these will actually submit an application. So I don't have that number right now, but at the end of March, once all the applications are submitted, I could share that information.
Okay, great. I want to kind of close this meeting by thanking everybody for their attendance and their support of the scholarship committee and for JVS overall. Thank our new board members who have joined us, our committee members who have joined us. We appreciate it. Hopefully you've gotten a good sense of what we do on this committee and find it interesting and kind of fulfilling of what you were desiring of accomplishing. So we appreciate that. And I want to particularly thank Julia and Joyce. Julia, you've done a great job kind of jumping in with Pat's departure. So thank you. David and I work closely with Julia and she's doing a great job. And I don't know what anybody can say about Joyce, because Joyce is fantastic. She's always been fantastic. She remains fantastic. So Joyce, we appreciate everything you're doing. So you and Julia are a great team, and we know you're helping out the scholarship committee and our recipients, and we all appreciate that. And Randy and Jorge, thank you for joining us at this meeting today. Randy, thanks for your support in terms of the fundraising efforts for the agency, and Jorge for making this happen, for putting this whole meeting together so you could all see each other and talk. So with that, we have the next, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
I never want a meeting to go by where we don't remind people to honor people's milestones with a contribution. All you have to do is call Joyce, who will take care of processing that. But so many of us don't need another thing because we've been cleaning out our houses for 2 years. So it's a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge a milestone or unfortunately memorial by giving to JVS Scholarship. Just call Joyce,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And we
I'd
do have the,
also,
go ahead,
I'd
Joyce.
also just like to clarify the Zoom box where it's just a phone number. I just want to make sure that that is Andrew Gendy. Andrew, that is you?
Andrew did tell me he was gonna call in, so it probably. is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's.
Maybe
him.
I
I just
am.
wanted to double check. Thank you.
Okay, and there are tribute cards rather, that we can get provided by Joyce if you need those, that make it easier. You can just send it in directly to Joyce. She
Yeah.
will process it. Our next meeting is, again, unfortunately virtual, but it is the award ceremony, award determination meeting. We'll get all the brochures and information and documentation before that, but put that on your calendar. It's Thursday, June 16th. At noon to 1 p.m., maybe a little bit longer, where we will go over kind of all the people who have kind of passed muster in terms of the interviews, and look at it. So there are oftentimes when people say, let's give a little more to this person or let's add this person. So be prepared for that. Sometimes we need to do a little bit more fundraising at that meeting to be able to pay whoever the scholarship recipients are, who we feel should be added or given increased amounts. But it is an interesting opportunity to kind of look and see who we're helping, what schools they're at, what programs they're in, what they're pursuing, and kind of a little bit of their story. So, and there is also table talk about certain individuals, recipients, which is always interesting to hear people who've interviewed them and what their thoughts are. So again, want to encourage everybody to attend that meeting on the 16th, and then the award ceremony on the 28th, and the walk and Strictly Business. We got a lot coming up, and they're all good activities. So we got you all out of here in about 46 minutes. So it wasn't bad. We kept within our hour promise. So we appreciate that. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up for good and welfare? We're all good and our welfare is good then. Okay, thank you. We'll see you all at the next meeting.
Thank you, John.